A big fat no to an anti-racist meetup at the UN from the U.S. and some of its friends with benefits.
They want to protect each other. The United States because of its original sin of genocide against Native Americans and slavery, and the Europeans because of their ongoing neo-colonial ties to Africa and Asia.
But is original sin all there is to it? More skeletons in the closet may be to blame for America's refusal to participate in the Durban III conference.
Bigoted racism or hatred, the Jim Crow type of racism, it's very much racism, and racism is unfortunately and regrettably still alive in America. There's no doubt about it.
Segregation between black and white is long over,
poverty-stricken, though sovereignty is the mission.
but often not for people in neighborhoods like this one.
I definitely believe racism is alive and kicking. Racism is a situation where one individual or group of people make decisions to control the destiny of another group of people based on their race.
Suteka Menra tries to spread the word with his merchandise.
We live in a capitalist system, all right? Now, in order for capitalism to function, you have to have haves and you have to have have-nots, all right? It just so seems that the have-nots in the capitalist system are predominantly black.
1 in 6 Americans live below the poverty line. For African Americans and Latinos, it's 1 in 4. Black unemployment is twice that of the white population at over 16.5%.
A white job applicant with a prison background, that is a white ex-inmate, is more likely to get a call back for a job than a black applicant who has no prison record whatsoever.
The setbacks start from early on. Playwright Rada Blank looks at the future of black children in her latest play.
If you look at the achievement gap and the number of black children graduating from high school, going on to college, compared to those of white children, it's very disparate.
The dark chapter of slavery has closed. The U.S. now has the first black president in its history. But the present remains disturbing.
Look at what we have inside the United States. We have young African, black and brown subjects, community colonial subjects being shot down in the street in an obsessive kind of way. 50 shots, 60 shots, laying on our stomach, in our back.
Even in terms of the racial disparity in capital sentencing, you know, there's so many more black men on death row.
Only 12.6% of the general population. Blacks make up nearly half of the prison population in America.
The way that works out globally is that nearly 1 out of every 8 prison inmates on the planet is an African American. If that is not prima facie evidence of a deep and abiding race problem in the United States, I don't know what better proof one could present.
In some cases, what lands them in jail is FBI entrapment. The nephew of Alicia McWilliams is serving 25 years behind bars. He wouldn't be, she says, were he not lured in by official provocateurs.
Looking at what our government be doing. No one wants to, look at what the USA is doing, and they want to justify they shit. And that pisses me the f off, honestly.
The incarceration pandemic has ripple effects. Many states ban ex-felons from voting, sometimes for life. Today, 1.4 million, or 13% of black men, can't vote because of these laws.
What if it were, white women with red hair? What if it were Jewish people? It's an astonishing kind of gulag.
Gulags are discussed once they're history. The U.S. is apparently not prepared to admit to today's truths yet.
America wants to put on this face that they're the good guys, that they're all this benevolence is going on here, and we take good care of our people here, when in actuality, they don't.
Out of sight, out of mind is an approach the U.S. seems to be taking when it comes to racism at home. Attending an anti-racist meeting would be the simplest way to begin taking action. But with domestic details too embarrassing to reveal, America is choosing to turn a blind eye instead. Anastasia Churkina, RT, New York.